Hey guys, 100% here. So, this is my, well, welcome to my completionist playthrough of Atelier Ryza 2 on legendary difficulty. The problem with that is there's a mob that we have to fight right now, right? In terms of going out, finding herbs. Well, you'll see. After all of those cutscenes, about an hour's worth of just gameplay before we do anything fun, it then brings us to a sort of forced battle with gathering certain resources. Now, I say it's impossible. I'm pretty sure if you had the reflexes of a god, you planned it out and you probably fought this guy a good... Hold on.
この辺りは人の往来があるから出るとしてもそんなに危険な魔物じゃないよ。とは言っても魔物には違いないんだけど、くれぐれも慎重に行動しよう。
私実際に街道を通ってきたし、なんとかなるでしょ。さあ、気合い入れて採取するぞ。
もう待ってよライザー。
So as I was saying, we don't actually need to worry about these. As I was saying, there's a mob here that we have to fight for this. If you look over here, we need to get fluffy wool. Now, as far as I can see and sort of have experimented, the only way we can get fluffy wool right now is by killing this sheep here, right? The problem is, if you don't block, he two-shots your guy. Right? If you block, he deals 4 damage. Now this is 4 damage, we've got 40 or 50 HP, right? That doesn't sound like huge, but he attacks very quickly. He really just attacks very, very quickly and just annihilates you. You don't have items, you've already got skills, you barely do any sort of damage. This guy has a massive, massive health pool, and it's just... Well, it's not impossible, right? It's not worth the time to just kill him. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it. I'm pretty sure that if I were to sit down for hours and hours and hours, I would reach a point where I'd be able to block every single one of his attacks, be able to predict every single one of his attacks, as well as hit him perfectly, right? As it is, I can't do that. So, what I'm going to do, and this is the only time that this is going to happen, is I'm going to lower the difficulty down to hard. Right? At hard, you can kill him. He hits pretty hard, but you can actually beat him. So before I do that though, I'm just going to go around and I'm going to collect as much of everything that I can. This is important. This is probably the most important part of the entire game, is collecting these things. Everything. Right? To explain. If you see on the bottom on the right there, the traits. This one says quality, this one is speech, charge, critical. Right? These are all random. See, this one's got 2. These are all random, and when you craft them in the alchemy, if let's say I put 2 defense charges together, like these 2. If I put these 2 in a recipe, well, there's not like there's any recipe with both food and ore and fuel. No, sorry, gunpowder. That's what it is. What's gonna happen if I do that is this defense charge will be level 3 when we get to the point where I get to combine everything, right? So it all helps with just leveling up traits and getting that right. Also, the higher quality the item, the better the trait that gets brought up, right? So, I suggest run around the whole place and collect as much stuff as you can. Also, since the quality is random, you will basically have a higher chance of getting high quality stuff. Another thing that's rather important is later on we're going to unlock something called the duty board. And in the duty board we are able to hand in items in order to just gain skill points and some coal, some money. Very important. I wouldn't say the coal so much as the skill points. Skill points can be gotten naturally as you craft, but since this is going to be a legendary playthrough, we're gonna need to essentially max out our characters at pretty much every point where we get new items together, because we might be able to make that one item that we couldn't before that can really make or break the build pretty much. Now, I like to play very lazily, right? Make it as simple as possible. Use skills, and then with those skills use the items, and not too much thought pattern behind it. So the way I'm gonna sort of create this guide is I will explain how to fight each creature. Weaknesses, strengths, show one fight with the creature, and then with that information you guys should be able to take out just about anybody here. So now that I've got a pretty good amount, 115 empty, I can still go and gather a whole lot more, but I think I'm okay for now. Got the majority of what I need. So let's go fight that sheep, and we'll see what I mean. Few things I learned about combat, which they don't really necessarily explain too well in the tutorial, is they are interesting ways to do the fight, right? What I recommend the most is your main character, whoever it is going to pretty much sit and just watch the fight happen and react to the fight, right? You're going to do a little bit of auto attacks here and there, but nothing too great. Then you're going to be doing a lot of skills as well as using a lot of items. And that pretty much is the full breadth of the fighting. Your companions will do a lot of damage themselves, but they will more enable you to do your damage. This is not really going to be too much of a demonstration because this guy is going to be rather simple, but let's see. So I suggest you wait to see if he's going to attack you or not. If he attacks you, you block. If he doesn't attack you, don't worry about it. You need to be careful, you mean. Now what you would have to do in Legendary is you would see where he goes, and then you would switch over to him. My thing is freaking out right now. But you would essentially switch to him, block, and then switch back to her, and then back and forth. You have to do that on Legendary just perfectly every single time for this fight to go as well as this one did. That's why I don't recommend doing this fight on Legendary unless you are a masochist. So with that done, on camera now, back to Legendary, and it's going to stay that way. So, what am I missing? Uni, that's the one. So one thing I've sort of found, but I've been unable to replicate reliably, is that jump there, right? It's got something to do with like collisions or something like that. It's easier to do on the stairs. It's like as you collide with a piece of the ground and you press jump, you'll just rocket forward. I'm not sure how to replicate it, but there we go.
そう? それなら町に戻ろう。パティも待ってるし。
それじゃ早速錬金術の調合をします。と言ってもこっちで採れた素材と新しい錬金釜だから慣れるまで大したものは作れないけど。
失敗の言い訳を今から考えているのか？
違うって。新しい武器や道具を使う時って慣れるまで少しかかるでしょ。そんな感じ。
まあまあ、できるやつでいいから早くやってみせてよ。
まったく。ちょっと待ってね。
Okay, so I'm going to explain all of this a little bit better than they explain it. After all of this, of course. This as well. It's fairly simple. They complicate things a little bit too much, to be perfectly honest, so I will explain it now. Oops. Wrong one. No, game. Oh well. Let's throw you in here. Doesn't let me go back. Made a small mistake, but it should be okay.
驚くよね。全然違うものができるから。
どう？これが錬金術だよ。
正直驚きました。こんなすごいものが本当にあったなんて。
錬金術を使えば何でも作れるよ。いや、さすがに何でもはちょっと言い過ぎか。
何でも本当に。
どうしたの？
いえ、何でもないです。
ライザの錬金術が健在で安心したよ。遺跡の調査はまた日を改めてかな。ライザも到着したばかりで疲れてると思うし。
そうだね。さすがに私もちょっと疲れた。
だろうな。島からここまでの長旅、知らない街。いくらライザでも疲れない方がおかしい。
その言い草、あんた私を何だと思ってんのよ。
いろいろ準備もいるだろうし、ライザの用意ができたら声をかけてよ。
待ってください。今度は私もついていきます。
パティ、それは
危ないと思うし、やめた方が。
でもそう、実は私も遺跡には以前から興味を持っていたんです。
え、どういうこと？そんな話初耳だ。
タオさんの授業を聞いていて、歴史に対する興味が最近急に強くなってきたんです。遺跡のことも同じで、私にとって探索は勉強なんです。
でも遺跡には魔物が住み着いてるかもしれない。戦うことになるかもしれないんだよ。
私も全く剣術の心得がないわけじゃありません。それはタオさんも知ってるでしょ。
まあ。
分かった。じゃあ一緒に行こう。でも本当に危ないかもしれないからね。
今日はここでお開きかな。それじゃあまた明日ね。
ちゃんと疲れを取っておくんだな。
では失礼します。
いろんなことがあったな。タオたちにも出会えたし、新しい友達もできたし、王都もあちこち見て回ったし、遺跡か。どんなとこだろう。モリッツさんからの石もあったっけ。やることいっぱいだ。これから一体どうなる。
Alright, after all that, I can now explain a few things. So, before the end of the video, let me go through skill tree and then alchemy a little bit. So, the skill tree. There's a few things that are rather important. Getting these guys here. Ice Bomb, Luft, Bomb, and Plagig. These guys are important. These guys are your elemental damage. They will probably deal the most amount of damage that you can do for a good long time. Especially as you upgrade them and they become better and better and better. Same thing with this Uni. The explosive Uni transforms into much better such craft, the Omega craft, and so on and so forth. Though these guys are meant for stunning, so when the mob is about to go crazy and start actually hurting you, you can just basically stun him using these. The most important thing for people to focus on at the beginning is getting recipe morph, gem reduction, and then down here there's item duplication. Those three are very important to catch early on, as well as picking up the neutralizers here. Then there's the ingot over here. You got the cloths up here, if I remember correctly. It's either up here or up here. The cloths up here will allow you to make armor. The ingots will allow you to make weapons. Okay. Down here, this whole section down here is where all your gathering levels are going to be. Your axe and so on and so forth, right? They're all going to be down here somewhere. So, most important, grab these, right? Then you grab neutralizers, ingot, cloth. Then you just literally just go through this entire, just munch this entire section here. This will make things go faster. You'll be able to pick up different items, more of them, and you will basically just skyrocket your progression through the game by getting these first. After that, it's only a matter of getting as many pieces of quantity as you can, right? As well as just filling out your alchemical sort of prowess, okay? Then, when it comes to actually crafting, if you look over here, right? Let's say I'm going into this explosive uni. You can get a pretty good idea of what's what. So, you can press select, right? So for me on my controller, it's the back button. And it will tell you what each thing tells you, right? So, for example, scattering, you want to look at exploding uni. Deals moderate non-elemental damage. If I remember correctly, this is about 30 to 40 damage, right? Just this item. 1 CC, which means one a skill, will allow you to use one explosive uni. So skill does about 12 to 15 damage, and then the explosive uni deals about 40-ish damage. So this is huge damage, right? Another thing that the explosive unis are good for is the surprise mechanic here. Alright? Delays the target's turn. So this is going to move them back, which means that they're not going to act as often. Also, I think it's the spikes. Yes. We want to get this to L. No questions asked. This will stun the mob quite reliably, and that's important. The rest at the beginning is not important because we can't get them, right? But this is just for the uni. Right now, though, the game is sort of like you're on a track to just keep doing things until the duty board is unlocked. But that's going to be in the next episode, where I'm going to go all the way to the duty board, and then I'm going to work on essentially allowing my characters, which there'll be 2 of, to be able to fight. So they're not even going to overpower anything. They are just going to be able to fight each mob without dying. If you want to sort of carry on a little bit ahead and all of that, I recommend you pick up, right now, you pick up grass beans. Good healing item. You will be using it more than anything at the beginning of the game, right? So if I go... I don't have any more skill points, do I? I do. Actually, with this, I'm gonna hold them for item morphs and all of that stuff. We could actually go for the neutralizers. I lie. Neutralizers are OP at the beginning. They allow you to reach max quality very easily. For example, you see how here I need gunpowder and fuel, right? Any gunpowder and any fuel, which right now I have quite a bit, right? I can actually make this item. When you pick up the recipe morph, not morph, this one here, I forgot its name. The gem reduction, right? It will allow you to rebuild the item, which allows you to put more stuff into the item so you can make it better. What you can do with the neutralizers, every single one of them except for the green one, I think it is. No, green you can. Yellow? Yellow you can. Oh yes, green you can't put in that levels it up. Okay, that's it. So for every neutralizer, you can put the neutralizer back into the neutralizer, which effectively just keeps pumping up that quality, right? As well as leveling up the traits. So I recommend leveling up your neutralizers, but let's for now, because I don't believe is there one that does flowers? I don't believe so. Oh yeah, you do flowers. So there. But what I can say you guys can do now is make a grass bean here. And we don't actually need this to proc. What we do need is, let's see if we can get this to proc. Yeah, let's put you in. Higher quality, better at doing what it does. We don't care about sleep, we don't care about poison, and these are just traits. So, because we've got the point, let's just put in. So, 3 traits. Every time you put in an item that has a trait, every time, for example, if I had 3 level 1 qualities here, 1 level 1 quality here, 1 level 1 quality here, and then I add another level 1 quality here, right? So I used up 6 items, right? This quality will be level 6. Each item you put in levels it up. You can also see it over here if you press the X button. It will sort of cycle through. So here I've got the effect list, then I've got the specials. You will see if, for example, there isn't much that sort of like carries over, so There, you can see here how there's the critical on the left there that is green. So if, for example, since we want quality, right?
何入れよっかな。
Let's put in these guys, right? So now I got quality level 3. And then we'll just throw in any of them.
すごいのできちゃうかも。
Then we'll put... There's no quality here, so we don't care.
何入れよっかな。
Is there quality here? This is going to give us quality, so we want to go for ice element, right? So we look here, there's quality, so this is going to give it +1. Or critical level 3, more quality, that's it. So
入れてから考
+1.
えるのもありかな。
And then we can put another... Can't put quality. Cool. So here we just want to pop the trait.
いい感じかも。
So now if you see, now it's level 4. Even though I've only been putting qualities level 1.
これ
Proof
で
of
どうだ。
concept. Also, as you see, it does increase my quality from
どれ
very
にしようか
minuscule,
な。
right? So it's 4%.
こんな感じかな。
One more quality.
いい感じ。さ
There we
す
go
が
with this crafted. Now when later, just a little bit later, when they allow us to equip items, we can equip the explosive uni and the grass bean. So, after that, this has been 100%er, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where we're going to effectively start the game. This was just story, which is, it's a pretty good story, so I suggest you guys actually follow through with it. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.